What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Working Tighter that's turning into something more permanent. In between silk almond milk swigs that Lugo's smacking half a
Not
gallon.
sponsored.
Man, we can get silk sponsorship. We'd be out of here. The podcast called Something Creative. This is episode 6. Lugo, where you
Is it
been, bro?
6?
I think it's a 6.
It's 7.
Is it
Am I
7?
tripping?
No,
Or maybe it's 6.
I think it's 6.
Maybe it's. I mean, I've been off the grid, so I don't know.
Yeah, man, where you been, bro?
Hey, man, I just got back from Miami.
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 Oh man, my boy's been watching too many
Man,
too many Bad Boys episodes, movies.
I've been in Miami with the Haitians and Dominicanos, chilling.
Did you feel home?
Yo, honestly, Miami in the wintertime,
A1?
A1.
What is Miami like in the winter time?
It's Cali weather.
What you know about Cali weather, bro?
Come on, dog. Come on. It's that San Diego weather. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Was it kind of like overcasty?
For the most part, no.
Okay.
No. If there was a couple days where it was kind of like, all right, it's kind of breezy. It's kind of low 60s.
Yeah.
But overall, bro, the weather was amazing. Cause I've been in Florida in the summer. It ain't fun,
Bro. Florida. For those who haven't ever been to Florida, and those who have been to Florida can attest. Florida from like April. Actually, I don't know when the starting date off. Maybe May, because I think I was in there during May. Miami specifics. I did Rolling Loud 2018, 19.
May through September,
bro. You walk out and you should have just not even showered.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have even done anything remotely.
Any tropical
down.
weather place in the summertime.
If you're not from it, you're not built for it. I think I'm built for this type of weather.
Nah.
Humidity is no joke. Humidity will make you feel like you're in a sauna. The minute you step outside, you're sweating, you're sticky.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it wasn't like that. Unless that's your vibe, then by all means.
Nah, bro, springtime's my vibe. The weather was perfect. I'm a little sunburnt. A little bit.
Wow, yeah, bro, you're out there on that
Yeah,
beach, man. That was your first time in Miami?
Technically no.
Mm-hmm.
Just cause tour. But first time just chilling there, yeah.
Yeah. South
Beach, bro. Chilling.
I'm sure you shot some dope stuff.
Yeah.
Dope, man. Well, I think it's a 6. I want to say it's a 6. So I want to say the last one was 5, and the 5 was the one where we kind of talked about. It was gonna be like 4 things we wish we knew when we started, but 4 kind of turned into 4 and some change. But I think we're gonna kind of keep on the rough topics of thinking back to when we kind of started, or something that I would like to speak on and kind of touch more on is I wish I could have given myself more grace when I first started as a fill in the blank creator, whether that's on the photo side as well as the video side. I feel like my perfectionism at the time has changed a lot, because I felt like I didn't do anything that I feel like I wasn't qualified for at the time, or kind of giving myself that room to make the hiccup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or allowed that space to grow in that kind of sense.
Yeah. I definitely think a good perspective to have, especially when you're starting off, is that the work that you're doing now, even right now, you're 2 years in, you're 1 year in, you're a month in, 5 years in, whatever the work you're doing now is going to change. Your whole perspective is going to change in a year, in a few months. You're going to learn new stuff. You're going to learn a new skill. Just last year, I learned how to properly use the C-stand, like properly.
Really?
like fully properly, like the way it's supposed to be used.
Like
You
when
know what
you
I'm
put the
saying?
weight on one side, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, like the precise way you're actually supposed to use it. I just
Okay,
own
so for the
C-stands.
ones who don't, explain what a C stand is and the proper way to use a C stand.
Okay. So should I like present? I feel like
Oh yeah, we probably should give a frame of reference. A C. While
okay.
you pull it up, I'll give a kind of reason to use a C stand. A C stand is a very standard stand that you put lights on. You kind of rig it however you need. Some audio mixers, sound mixers. I know why I'm fumbling
This
my
is it
words.
right
It's because
here.
it's 1 a.m. and we're trying to make sure this comes out on time. So this stand specifically, you'll see almost on every set. You could see this from people just hanging stuff on it, clamping lights primarily. You'll see sandbags on the feet of it to hold it down.
Correct. And
Um,
this is from beginner all the way to Avengers. Like everyone's using this. This is like a
some
standard.
variation of, so like the bigger the C
Yeah.
stands are, like the more heavy duty, I should say. Those legs sometimes will have wheels. They turn more into combo stands, but this is a very standard stand that isn't just like a little tripod light holding fixture. This one can, like, those arms, people have been known to create crazy rigs off of putting a couple of them together and
Yep.
taking them apart and using them as like makeshift fill in the blank. People get mad creative with these, and it's actually super impressive. So this is
Yeah.
a C
So
stand for frame of reference.
this is a C stand. This
How
is
were you
technically a
using a
grip
C
head.
stand
And,
before you feel like you were
okay.
doing it correctly?
Okay. So before, let's say, I don't know how long ago, like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Logically speaking, I knew, okay, this is a big ass leg. This is where the sandbags go, right? I was like,
Mhm.
all right, cool. So, but actually, this picture's bad because they don't even have this properly set up. To be honest, I guess they
With
all
the
just
knuckle up.
okay. So I've had just especially because me starting off, I wasn't dealing with anything heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had like a full metal C stand, just the metal enough was good enough to hold anything I was using that I own.
Yeah.
So, you know, in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is a stand. You know, there's nothing to it. There's just baba, the bottom. If you're putting something heavy on it, you just put weights on the bottom. There's no necessary right or wrong way to do it, right? I was wrong. So there's a big leg, right? So the big leg, which one's the tallest one here? I think it's
I
this
think
one.
it's on the backside. Yeah.
Yeah, so the tallest one is supposed to be, so let's say I'm mounting something right here.
Like
Right.
the one two up from it, you could see the light fixture. There's like a softbox attached to it. I don't know if you're looking at that same one.
Yep. Here it is. Perfect.
So this would be an idea of how you would. I mean, this is pretty standard on how you would mount a light, and that's
Exactly.
actually an aperture because we can see the light dome. Shouts to aperture.
Yep.
I hope they can send a 300 XD 300DX.
Honestly, even the little aperture MC light ones will be great for that too. Anything. Even a sticker would be kind of cool.
I am in the market of a 300DX, so I would very much like that, but I'm not being picky. A simple email like, hey, we like what you guys are doing. Let us know if we could help. Shameless plugs.
It's shameless. So the big leg is supposed to go towards wherever the weight is going to. That way, if let's say this were to tip over, the big leg would stop it pretty much. In my mind, I don't know why I thought this. The big leg should be on the opposite side. Because that's where the
Really?
weight goes. So you're supposed to put all the weight. It's like balancing it out, right?
Mhm.
I don't know why I thought that, but that's just something I thought. But yeah, the big leg's supposed to go there, and then you put the sandbags on there. That way, I guess technically all the weight. I guess in my mind, starting off, I was like, why would all the weight be going one way, right? But
Mhm.
because the leg is so big, it's so it doesn't fall back. That's the point of it. So, and then the other main thing would be this little grip.
Knuckle.
What's the knuckle? The knuckle, right? So I wasn't using anything heavy. I just tighten it, blah blah, whatever position it was in. I would just use it. Um, you essentially, I had to figure this out. Obviously, this was kind of my no that I just kept doing wrong. But this I figured it out. This you tighten to the right. That way, if this were to fall down or anything, it would just be tightening it. It wouldn't be
Meaning the
loosening
weight
it.
shifting. Because if that knuckle's not tight enough, you'll literally see it start to turn. I'm sorry to bring my hands back within the frame. You'll see it start to turn the direction that the weight's pointed down. But if it's on the high side, it's going to be turning clockwise, which means it's only going to be tightening it more. It's not going to be rotating. It's not going to like loosen, and then shift super quick. Whether if it was on the other side, that's
correct.
What would most likely happen.
Because if this was to be flipped, and this would be falling towards the lefty loosey. If this were to fall because it's so much weight, it would loosen the whole thing and it would collapse. So and I guess. Yep.
I was going to say, and a lot of this stuff you're not even necessarily thinking about off top when you're first starting, especially if you're using like super cheaper lights that are mad less in weight compared to like this aperture, for example, but even then it's not a super heavy light. But heavier lights that go on the ends is when you start have to be paying attention to like, okay, if I bump into the stand, it might tip over if it's not properly secured down with a sandbag on that top leg too.
Yep. And then another trick that I just learned from using C-stands a lot is that when I'm raising a stand, I start from the top. I always give a good like a foot or two, and then I raise it from the bottom. That way, if you have to make minor adjustments, you could lift it and lower it from the bottom, rather than we have to make an adjustment. Okay, I have to bring the whole thing down and then raise it, and then it's a whole thing. So start from the top, bottom. Yeah.
So that's C-stand 101. We got into that because you mentioned that you just recently or 2 years ago learned how to use the C-stand.
When I was starting off,
you weren't using it correctly, which I mean, and that's fair. To be honest, I feel like I only use C-stands in positions to where people were knowing how to use C-stands, because at All Def, when we would hire people out to help shoot content, we had C-stands, we had like sandbags and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, do it this way." So then that was just kind of like, it wasn't ever like,
you
hey, I have
already
C-stands.
had a culture of the right way,
and like examples shown. This is how you do it. This is why you do it.
Yeah.
Versus, here's a C-stand. I know it does something. Let me just that screws on there.
Yeah, because I mean, it starting off, it just looks like a stand. It's like it tightens and loosens. You put weight at the bottom. It's not that complicated, but all these little things,
they all help out the bigger picture.
I don't know how we got into doing this.
I was trying to circle back on that because we had mentioned like allowing like the topic of just kind of like allowing yourself grace and more room for potential growth by kind of like giving that grace as a buffer. Like, hey man, it's okay to not do something right and to learn and grow from it. For the
I still don't know exactly how I got there.
Yeah, I was trying to create some banter and buffer to kind of see if you can segue back in, but I guess here we are. Yeah. No, but I mean, just even another example, like, going back to me, even like for me, I used to be super hard and like, and I still am in some ways, kind of like hypercritical on the work I do, the quality it is, if it's not a certain way from that bar that I set. And I'm starting to be a little bit easier with like how I handle that, meaning like I'm trying to give myself more grace for the sake of like, man, give yourself time to make that mistake, give yourself time to learn from that, and also just try something. If it's not going to work, it's not going to work, but it's not going to be the end of the world if it doesn't work.
Yep. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, there's this much you can control. The whole biggest aspect to this game and this industry, everything is time. You know what I'm saying? The more you keep doing it, the more you're gonna get better, the more you get more knowledge from it. And that's something you can't control. You can't rush the time that you're learning or going through it. So it's baby steps. And man, I remember when I was starting off, when the last video when we were talking about Potter and Friend. The first video was that the first video I shot. Bro, I was so like, yo, what am I doing? This is not exactly how I wanted it. This is not exactly it. A couple months after, you learn things like, oh, I could have done it that way. You know what I'm saying? Even looking back at it now, I was like, I know how to shoot now. Like, I'm fully confident in my shooting, so I could reshoot it and be like, oh, this is how it's supposed to look like. But 5 years from now, I'm gonna look back and be like, all the stuff I shot this year, and be like, oh damn, man, I could have fixed that and done things way differently. But that's a part of, you know, growing, and that's a part of that. Honestly, just shows that you're getting better and you're getting somewhere. If you're making content, and I would say in a year there's no change in terms of workflow, efficiency, anything, I would reevaluate what you're doing. Because there definitely is two sides of not having pressure on yourself, but there's also on the flip side of like, okay, you're way too comfortable with it.
That's good. What would be a step to how you would reevaluate comfort?
I am the type of person that I OD research. I research. I exhaust all my resources that I have available. And anytime I go into something, it's just, what can I do different? So each project I learn so much. This last project I just shot in Miami, I had a little aperture light, the little MC ones, and we're shooting at a payphone. And at one of the lights, I was like, damn, if I had two of them, I could do them. So after the shoot was done, I just bought another one. You know what I'm saying? And you learn, you grow. It's just like each shoot you could learn and apply something, and that doesn't just go to buying stuff. It goes to, I would say the biggest thing for me would be efficiency. I always try to find faster way to do something, always, because I enjoy my time.
Yeah.
But yeah, or even just reach out to people, even if you're like the nastiest DP or whatever, you could still learn from a DP that's just doing it right, and you could still grab skills that they have. Maybe they have better discipline with workflow or file organizing, and it's just about, you know, sharing knowledge.
Yeah, I think sharing knowledge is huge, and I also think that that comes with the territory of stripping your ego, because I know there was a point in time when I started that I was just like, oh, I'm getting kind of nice, I can just do everything myself. And though that may be true, that's not the most efficient. And I think that's when bottleneck happens a lot as well.
And that's when you're mentally drained too. Because like even the projects I do now, if I really wanted to force it, I could do it myself. It would be crazy to do it,
right?
But I could do it myself. I could just edit the whole thing. But it's like you gotta pick and choose your battles, because it's like, do you want to overwhelm yourself and do everything at a 70% level, or do you want to drop your ego, maybe make a little less money, but be able to do your job at 100%? And then that way it gives someone else to fill in the other spot, and they could do it at 100% too, rather than you just controlling everything, and then it's all stagnant, and then it's like, oh damn, this whole project got hurt because of just ego.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes like I'm trying to figure out how to word this, because I feel like when it came to, like, for me as example, I never really dabbled in color grading, because one, that was never something that I wanted to dive into it, and I'm just like, oh, this can just, I mean, I'm shooting it, I might as well just shoot it in a standard profile.
Yep.
But the more I started appreciating not necessarily other people's content, but like content that I would watch, whether that be shows, movies, you start appreciating color. And or I personally did. You start appreciating color and the mood that it could bring, and the, you know, creative touch that you could add with it, you know, and it really brings an entire aesthetic that though I know I'm not great at color grading by any means, it's like, say for example, this video that we're working on right now. It's dope to be able to be like, bet I'm gonna shoot it flat, because I know I could lob it to somebody who's gonna go crazy on it, on the color, if that's what they want to be doing and what they want to focus on too. Pause for almond milk slam. It's almost better to find, and that's something that we do at Kev on Stage Studios too, is we like not necessarily hire out, but we like to find people that love
specialize in that niche,
and when they're good, like it's I'm trying to think of the right phrase for it. We try to put people in the position to do a job that they love to do, because it won't necessarily just feel like work for them. You know, it's not just like handing something off, possibly because you don't want to do it, but if they love to do it, why not?
Yeah.
You know, open the budget a little bit more, meaning that might take a little bit out of your cut, but it's more efficient in the long run to kind of let somebody breathe into their dream and their passion in that little instance or example that can help elevate your piece of work that much more too.
Yo, that's big facts, because even for me, I told you this so many times, but I personally don't really like editing. Like, if I were to ever be defined, like if I had to pick one career, right, it would never be like I'm an editor. I would never call myself an editor, ever. Those words would never come out of my mouth. And all the stuff I shot, I'm 97% I've edited. That's just because the circumstances and things like that. But now I'm starting to open my mind more, able to get a DP, able to bring Josh out to shoot on these projects, and I'm just directing, and then get my boy Nico, shout out to Nico, get him to edit, and then, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you pick and choose what you love to do, and there's a period of time where you just have to suck it up and do what you hate to do. But you know,
you won't have to do that forever though.
Exactly.
You know,
and you will also get to a point where you have to, like you said before, it's gonna be your ego. Because if I was really like money hungry and wanted to make a lot of money, I wouldn't be bringing you guys out. You know what I'm saying? Never.
For sure.
I would just take y'all cut.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple things with that, right? There's that ego factor. There's another part too. I don't want to forget it, but I think it's gonna slip away, and it's fine. But the ego factor is like, just because like I know how to do this, and this. It's not gonna help you grow in the area you really want to be growing in. Just because, like, for me, part of my ego on wanting to be able to do everything is just like not having the trust in the potential trust, which isn't even fair because it's not even giving them a chance. And like, oh, I don't know if they're gonna edit it because I know that footage is there, but are they gonna find it? You know, are they gonna take the time to go through every clip, or just find the best beats early and then this whole back end of raw footage doesn't even get tapped because, oh, this space was filled and we have enough, you know. um but being able to let go and work that ego down and to kind of like be able to delegate that um is a big step, you know. And that also comes with being able to slowly build out, and sometimes it might not work out, sometimes it might not be what you envision, but even when that might happen, you definitely have a better idea of like, okay, maybe I wasn't clear enough in the direction of how I wanted this edit or this workflow to go through. Ask for feedback, like how could this have been better, what could have been more efficient in terms of like have a beat sheet or like a script in terms of like how you want the edit to look like. Those are all things that have kind of helped me in the past as well. But I think when you said suck it up and you might have to do stuff that you don't want to be doing, there's a lot of patience that derives from that. There's a lot of patience, and I think that's where like a lot of room for growth is allowed during that time too, because as you start doing everything, that's when I realized I don't like doing everything. I don't like having to, I don't mind editing if it's something quick, you know, like something with a quicker turnaround. Obviously it's not in my best interest to edit everything I shoot, because then it locks up potential scheduling for or other potential opportunities that I can go step out and shoot something if I literally have to lock this in and edit this by a certain time and get it done by as that example. But you know, like giving yourself that space to give everything a shot and really like be in the mud working on an edit that you shot, that you got to figure out some kind of LUT that you could throw on it to kind of give it a little color vibe. Like all that provides experience in each of those subjects a little bit to be like, okay, this is kind of cool, let me explore this a little bit more, maybe I want to focus on this more. But that all comes with time. Like none of that happens like overnight or in one 5-minute YouTube videos, when most of these YouTube videos are 23 to 30 minutes explaining the one thing that you're trying to knock out, and you're like, you know what, maybe I do need to lock in and put the work in and then just listen to this dude speak for 20 minutes. Because that's the time, like literally all those are putting shots up in the gym to get you towards whatever that step is that you're trying to work more toward, if that makes sense.
I found that it's a lot easier figuring out what you don't like rather than what you like. So yeah, like you said, just try mad stuff, and then worst case scenario is just like, oh, I don't like doing this. Okay, now you know you don't like doing this. It's not on your priority list or your career field that you want to focus on. But even logically speaking, especially in like a creative entertainment, any type of field like this, there's only so far you could get alone. That's just how it works. So even logically speaking, you will have to reach a point where you have to start branching out. You're gonna need more help. You're gonna need more people. So the sooner you could drop the ego and just bring people on early and be more collaborative and allow yourself to become a better communicator, allow yourself to build relationships, know who to build it with. If you do that earlier, that will best benefit even you and your team that you're essentially building, because you don't want to work solo dolo for X amount of years. Then it's like, all right, it's time to now build a team. You have zero experience on talking to people. You have zero experience on communicating on set. You have zero experience on communicating anything. And now you want to do that at your level. It's just like, it doesn't really make sense. So I would say the earlier the better. You could bring people on and collaborate. I wish I did it earlier, because all the hiccups or the way people communicate, the more confidence you get or speaking up, all that stuff is crucial, way more important than your knowledge and cameras and all that. So if you could get all that BS done way early on and get all the stuff out of like the lack of confidence stuff that early on, you'll be set for when you do reach your potential and you get that breakthrough moment and you finally get to reach out at an opportunity and take that big step, you're set. You're set. At least mentally.
Yeah, and I think that mental work is arguably the most important.
100%.
Because you can get the gig, you can get the looks, you can get the conversations being had, but if you're not mentally prepared to be like, I can do this job, I am fit for it. If something goes wrong, I know I can troubleshoot. I know what could happen worst case scenario, and I could still deliver. Crashing and burning in real time because you're not mentally tough enough to be in that position is probably, I don't want to say worst case scenario, but it's probably one of the most humbling, like, I don't know, it's such a problematic position because then if you're still not mentally tough with it, you could start questioning everything. And that's why you got to keep working on you. You got to keep putting that work in to allow yourself like the grace for growth. Like allow yourself the I mean, really just got to talk to yourself nice every day, bro. And gas yourself up. If you're not mentally tough with that self-confidence. Because without that, man, this especially like this industry will eat you up. Social media will eat you up. Everything you look at will eat you up.
No one cares.
Nobody.
That's just facts. No one cares. No one cares about what you think. I honestly don't even care what y'all thinking sometimes. So it's just the reality of it. And
but that's a mentality that you need, though.
You need it. You need it, and it's literally exactly what you said, because you know when you're in those moments when things are going all the way wrong, everything's messing up. It's all those little moments that happen over the years that build that character. Rather than everything going perfect for X amount of years, now you finally hit it on a big set in a big moment, and you don't know how to handle it. Me and my homies were watching what's the show called? Master Chef. Yo, Master Chef is fire. And one of the kids on it, this kid was like 19. Nathan. His name is Nathan. Shout out to Nathan on Master Chef.
Big Nate.
But yo, my guy could not handle the pressure. He was a nice cook. He was killing it. He was the underdog. He was the youngest one. But man, my guy he couldn't handle the pressure. And on one of them, because Gordon Ramsay, he roasts everyone. But he was on it, and it was like a tag team thing. And bro, this man fainted. This man passed out.
Oh no.
And it just goes to show that, like, he could have gone so far if you gotta keep it cool. You gotta know how to be good under pressure. Things aren't that deep. It's not the end of the world. There's no reason to stress out. Calm, cool, and collected. Just, I like the way I live my life is a steady, gradual growth. Little down sometimes, little up. But man, you don't want super highs, then you get super lows. You super high, super low.
Man.
I'd rather
those highs and lows come, especially when the bigger opportunities come, bro. And like the bigger opportunities come and they get posted, and then you start feeling yourself, and then you're like, all right, we're the back-to-back big gigs that should be coming with this. You set that, you paint that picture in your head that's just not realistic.
Exactly.
But something you said was really good is like you almost have to be in the driver's seat of knowing like it's gonna be like this consistently. There's never just if it's like this, bro, it's gonna be just as much or just as
much the other way.
And it's almost like allowing the space for that to happen too, and being okay and tough enough to know that like, hey man, things are good now, but they're not always going to be good. And it's not even trying to think negatively or anything like that. It's just allowing that potential. You know, it's like it ebbs and flows is like the saying, you know.
And at the end of the day, that it really just comes down to patience, because you could keep grinding and pushing for super big opportunities, which is not a bad thing, but it's like if you aren't ready for them, you aren't ready for them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be wise, and it's like, you know, the mental health and mental what's it called?
Like
Strength.
toughness,
Yeah, toughness is what's most important. And when you're at a steady growth, you know, it's way better. I prefer steady growing, gradually, consistently for X amount of years, to the point where it's almost even quote unquote like you don't even see the change till like years after. You're like, man, I actually changed a lot. Rather than, oh man, things are changing constantly all the time. Then you raise expectations. You don't, because it's just like, even just for any person experiencing anything at a high level and the span of a month or 2 months is insane. That you could have your whole life change in 2 to 3 months, and it's like you're going from level 1 to level 100, and you have zero of the experience from level 2 to 99. You gain none of that experience, and you're just getting thrown into level 100 with no experience at all. So I think the best bet, especially now, because, you know, this industry's becoming so oversaturated, at least with indie creators and, you know, just social media, I think it's good to just focus on the baby steps. Just take it step by step, and just be patient.
Yeah, man. And I mean, there's a saying, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. And you really don't begin to understand that until you start putting the work in those first couple weeks, first couple months, first couple years. And stuff picks up, stuff peaks, stuff gets low, stuff gets tough. But when you keep being persistent with that endurance to get better, you feel the progression in the long-term results of that marathon.
And you just really become a better sound individual. And you could balance the really highs and the really lows. And it's just, you know, you had time to build something around you and build something concrete, not something quick and easy that just, it could tip over any second.
Yeah. That's good, man.
This was a TED Talk with Josh and Lugo.
Thanks for coming to the TED Talk. Fresh off the flight from Miami. Yeah, man. I think that's a good place to stop.
Hey, man.
It's cool. What? It's 4:30 your time? AM?
4:35.
Lord Jesus, it's 1:35. It feels like 4:35 on this side. Man, it's been a day. Let me tell you guys something. We really
was watching your stories. You got cameras.
Bruh, today was dope though. Quick light recap before we all part ways for the week.
Tell the people.
Normally we're a week ahead on these potties. So on any other Friday, if we had one lined up for tomorrow, this would have been shot tomorrow. Tomorrow 100%. Being Saturday. This is Friday. Yeah. Let me give you guys a tip on Fridays.
I had like a 2-week vacation, so you know it kind of.
Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna press my boy while he's on his vacation though, by any means. He didn't get one text from me in that sense. It's Miami, bro. First time Miami was a great time. My first time as well. So Fridays over at the good folks of Kev on Stage Studios, if you're familiar, the Patreon gets a bonus episode of Here's the Thing. We shot that a little earlier today because Kev had I think I could say this. He had an audition. I'm not going to say what it's for. He had an audition that would have ran at the time of the original programming of the bonus. Shot that. Quick punch-up edit to be posted to the app. Audio. Then we got to prep for the Keep Your Distance show that started at 7. We had some dope new equipment today. We had a cable cam, which is pretty much a suspended. This is a better example. If you guys ever watch sports, specifically football, you'll sometimes see a camera go over the field that kind of slides. Those are very long cable cams. We had one of those.
It's literally a camera ziplining.
It's a camera ziplining.
It is insane.
A way better example than anything that I said.
It is insane.
So we had one of those today. That was kind of cool. However,
level up.
That show goes kind of late, as you can imagine. It probably wrapped at we were out of there by 10-ish, and then we had to talk about some things at Kevin List's house. Then we ate some food, and that didn't put me out of there until 11-ish. Lugo's best availability was tonight, so we made that happen. Here we are. It's 1:38 Pacific time a.m.
For y'all that don't know, Josh lives on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
I live on the East Coast. So
this is a very much bi-coastal potty series that we're doing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fire. I never thought about that until now, to be honest with you.
It's pretty fire, honestly, the way we... Yeah.
This is going to get edited, which is just trimming the ends. I don't really do anything crazy to it.
Nah.
This is going to get prepped to upload for 6 a.m. today.
Sheesh.
I mean, I like to throw 6 a.m. up there.
Right.
But...
do you upload it or do you schedule it?
I schedule it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. We schedule it. But we'll see what render time looks like.
Yo, did you know?
Kind of tripping.
I found out the other day. You could schedule Instagram posts now with the Facebook business app.
Oh, through Face? Interesting.
Yes, with the
not through Facebook at least. Like the Facebook Business Manager or the Creator Studio.
I forget which app, they have the feature
apps,
now.
Bro.
You can schedule the full post for a certain time. Because, before then, people had third parties. But now, it's just built right into your Instagram thing. I was like, wow.
That's solid.
This is pretty dope.
That's
pretty
solid.
Dope.
That's A1. Lugo, you got anything to close with?
This has been the 6th episode. These have been fun.
It's been a good time, man.
I feel like we gotta do something special for the 10th. Or not.
Yeah, no, we can. Let's see if the commenters, viewers, listeners. I gotta throw these up on. I gotta set. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do this weekend. I'm gonna set up maybe Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout might be easiest. I gotta get these up on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Anyway, that was triggered when I said listeners. Anyway,
if y'all want to see, we want to see. I don't know. If y'all any, I don't know, any ideas.
Spit them out.
It'd be cool. I don't know, to have something recurring, even every 5 episodes or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Something recurring. I don't know. Y'all people.
Even if you guys want to see little series packs, we could dedicate a couple episodes to talking about fill in the blank. Even if
anything.
We are open. This is two homies talking about experiences, what we're going through, what we have gone through, what we see in the comments of what y'all might be going through. So just keep being honest in the comments.
Yeah.
If you're feeling it, let us know. If you're not feeling it, let us know.
Let us know.
I'm not gonna pay any mind to it, but let us know. Yeah, man. I think something special for the 10th. Maybe we can get a guest or something. Depending on what that might look like, that could be tight. But until we get to the 10th, we'll figure out the 10th. This is the 6th. Hopefully, see you guys back here for the 7th next Saturday. That is all for now. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, y'all. Peace.